Hello, 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 and welcome to the Lust Podcast Show, the show that is rated R for real and not PG for playing games. I am one of your hosts, the Boss Lady.
And I'm the D.O.C.
All right, join us for our weekly conversations about life, culture, and everything else. As we always say, get to know us, get to love us. But before we start, gotta pause and give a shout out to our sponsors, CJS Educational Services, as well as Cigar Junkies. Make sure you get your merch. We got a lot of different merch.
No doubt.
But before we get into this episode, how are you, Mr. D.O.C? We got a special episode going on here.
I am feeling fucking fabulous. As you see, we are on location in the DR, baby. You know, we bring it to you folks real, man. So we keep it moving, man. We work wherever we go, man. We don't stop working. We hustlers, man. That's all we know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So I am well. Out here trying to catch these sun rays. Trying to get this vitamin D in my system.
Vitamin D?
Pause.
No, women don't have to pause.
I'm trying to get some vitamin D in my system. All type of vitamin D, if y'all know what I'm talking about. But outside of that, we here for this 3-course meal. Y'all know how we give it to y'all. We give y'all a 3-course meal, starting with our appetizer, which is our hot topic.
No doubt.
Hot topic today. You want to talk about the hot topic today? It is actually traveling with your mate and traveling outside of the United States.
No doubt.
Because we've heard a lot of stories about how you shouldn't travel to certain places and things of that nature. And so we decided, we're with a group of people that invited us, and we are in the DR. And so, D.O.C, can you just dispel some of the traveling myths that people have about traveling here?
I want to say, man, since we've been here, we've met people in groups, and then we've met single people. And I'm talking about single women. So my thing is, meaning that the women are single, but they are traveling with a group. So they're by themselves, but they're with a group. And my thing is, as long as you stay with a group, you meet somebody, you become friends with them, your buddy, while you're there. You don't drink any drinks that people are not giving you, and you don't venture off the resort. Other than that, you should be very safe. We've been here twice now, and dispel a lot of the rumors. We don't do drugs, so if I'm not doing cocaine or heroin, I'm not going to get no fentanyl, nothing like that in my shit. So I'm drinking the resort drinks, which, you know, when you got VIP, you getting the best shit. So it's just like being in the States. So it's very safe. I just want to say that to make a long story short, it's very safe, man. Come out here, enjoy your life, man. Don't get caught up. It's less safe being on the south side of Chicago than it is coming to fucking Dominican Republic. Let's be real with it.
Yeah.
Let's be real with it.
That is true.
I'm just being real.
That is true. We didn't have any issues. As long as you have your passport, you're fine. You just have to have a passport.
And I'm telling black folks, get your fucking passport.
Even if you don't plan on traveling, if you don't have a trip planned, still get a passport. Just so you have the availability to be able to travel the way you want to. And when you have a passport, you can get through any of the doors. So,
and you know what? This is a great trip because considering coming off of the election,
oh God, this is so.
And even though I'm digressing, I predicted that Kamala would lose. I did.
We said it. You said it.
I predicted she would lose, but not because she was a bad candidate. She was she was behind the 8 ball to begin with. And she was a complex candidate. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't a huge supporter of Kamala. But she was better than the motherfucker that got elected. Exactly. And I'm going to keep it real. And so...
GTA.
So this motherfucking trip was fucking much needed and came at the right time.
It was. And you know what, guys? I tell you this. The weather has been beautiful. It has been a mood changer. Just physically. Just you feel better.
Yes.
Everything is just
Met
better.
Some beautiful people. Yeah.
Oh, yes. You know, I'll tell you this. The people here are beautiful. People talk that shit, but people here are beautiful. They have a beautiful spirit. They're just as black as us and speak probably nothing but Spanish. They're nice. And granted, some of them do get paid to be nice, but their genuine spirit is nice. From the time we got off the airport to the time we got here, we've had nothing but just excellent, just energy. It's crazy. You got to travel sometimes out of the United States to get fucking positive energy all the time from everybody. And we've had nothing but positive energy.
They look at us as Americans. And niggas that travel, especially abroad, they're not broke niggas. And that's just being real with it. So they're going to treat you because you got money.
So, yes, long story short, plan you a trip, take you a trip. If it can be outside the United States, go somewhere within the United States. But if you can get outside the United States, do it.
And this is a shameless plug. I usually don't do this. But shout out my girl Iris Martin at Sojourner Travels if you want to do some international trips. You don't have to put all the money down. You can break it up in payment.
Yeah,
she'll work with you. And this travel group, Iris Martin, Sojourner Travel, they travel everywhere around the fucking world.
Okay, so one of the, real quick before we go into our entree, but one of the myths I want to dispel when you just said something is that people think that you have your 401k to do international travel. No. The way travel is set up now, you can make so many payments on things, and literally you have over a year sometimes to pay on trips, and you pay monthly just like you do your car note, your insurance, your cell phone. Like, oh my god, they're spending so much money. We know how to.
That's right.
We know how to.
You may have 3 or 4 trips. Hell, you going that? Man, come on now.
That's why you work hard, so you can afford monthly payments on your trips.
And shout out to my girl Makita from Travel Joy. She hooked us up with the DR trip. Yes.
So shout out to her.
Yes, no doubt.
Thank you. So now let's next into our entree. So we've been doing this book a game, 20 years in a game, and we have been moving along, like literally moving along. We had chapters about intimacy and love and loyalty and finances, and we just put out an episode about keeping your relationship private and how to keep positivity. We have another chapter that just talks about like how to fight fair. And so this chapter is kind of talking about what happens when a couple starts to change. Meaning that person changed, I changed. Just over time, with time and age, people change. You get older, your patience is less. It's just a lot of things that change. And so how do you deal with that when your lifestyle changes, when your routine changes? How do you get through that? So before we like really get into this, so D.O.C., for those who don't know, D.O.C. is embarking on a milestone. He will be turning 50 soon.
No doubt.
So I met D.O.C. when he was 23. You can do the math, but I met him and started talking to him, according to him, when he was 23. And so over time, things change. So D.O.C., my question to you is not even about the marriage changing, but you as a person, how do you feel like from beginning to now, how do you feel like you have changed? And do you think any of those changes have positively or negatively affected your marriage or your relationship?
Oh yeah, I would say at the base level, I've been the same person. Meaning that I'm the same nigga from Miller Projects, from Gary, Indiana. Jumped off the motherfucking block at that base level. But at the time when you engage with a person, you become a partnership like we did. Of course, you evolve. And over time, because of the way I was raised and grew up, I learned how to love. I learned how to show love. And I learned how to be more patient. So I think over time, because growing up the way we grew up hard. You couldn't be patient. You had to go get out there and get it, because if you didn't get it, you was going to starve. I grew up in a household where there wasn't love shown, because that's just the way that it was. And so because of that, I learned how to show love not only to you, but to my kids and other people around me in different ways. Not just in the ways, that typical ways that people think. You know what I'm saying? So for me, yeah. And then you evolve that in your relationship. So, what about you?
I think some of the ways that I've changed is that just overall I've matured. I would say that when I first started talking to D.O., if I could be 1,000% honest and transparent, I think that when I first started dating D.O.C., I was still learning myself. And so I'm gonna be honest, there was parts of me that didn't know what I really wanted. And obviously there was parts of me that didn't know what I want until I was shown different things. So this is the thing, you sometimes you don't even know what you want because you don't even know what's out there. You don't even know what options are there. You've never been exposed to it. So for me, I think it was really maturing because for me, with him being older, he showed me a lot of stuff. Stuff that, and when I say show me a lot of stuff, ladies, what I mean by that is he showed me game. Not just game about, relationships, but game about life, being professional, educational, because at the time I was getting my degree. And so it was a lot of stuff I didn't know about college, definitely a lot of stuff I didn't know about grad school, just stuff I didn't know about life, period. And he showed me a lot of that. So for me, one of the biggest changes that I can say is that I have learned a lot and I have matured a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody still have setbacks. They may still, sometimes some things may make them act immature and things of that nature. But overall, I would like to think that I am much more mature when it comes to our relationship.
The other thing I want to add to that is trust. With me, we talked about that in the first episode. With me, I learned because we're going to talk about it. August 20, 2000, when I got shot, my brother got murdered. I had to trust you to handle certain situations because I was at my worst. I was at my worst physically, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And this woman right here helped prop me up. So I had to trust her to put all of that. Literally, at that time, I wasn't able to be an earner. So ain't no money coming in, money going out. You still got bills due. And I was able to count on this woman to help a nigga out, you know what I'm saying, in them times. So trusting that a person would be there. And especially at this time in life, I'm not gonna lie, niggas was into some real life gangster shit. And she came at a time where, at that time, the young girl, they could have ran. Because she didn't come from that type of block, even though she was exposed to it, but she wasn't raised like that. She could easily been like, man, I'm gonna make sure this nigga is stable, man. I'm up. These niggas got a lot going on, man. But she stayed there through the thick and thin. So I appreciate that. I love her for that. And like I told her, I told her that when I got married to her. So this is no surprise and something that I'm just saying. She's always known this, but that trust piece is something that I learned because growing up the way I grew, you couldn't trust niggas in certain situations. I'm just saying.
That's true. And for me, it was a trust thing for me, trusting that whatever it was that was going on or whatever we was going through, trusting when he said we was going to get through it and we were going to get through it stronger than how we started. It takes a lot of trust to just sit your fears aside and trust that, okay, we're in a bad situation right now, but we're going to get through it because he said we're going to get through it. And I trust him. I believe in his words and I believe in him enough to trust that he gonna figure things out. And that's even to this day, even when, because I'm the spazoid between us. I ain't gonna lie. I am the one who gets emotional. Something happened. I'm the one that's gonna break down. He's gonna be the one that's gonna have a plan, have an execution. So I always trust him in any given situation.
So what you're getting into is trusting your process. Because when I want to tell this to people that you're going to have roadblocks in life. You're going to have speed bumps in life. But you got to trust your process. One thing it is, man, I had a process already in place before that shit went down. And because of that, all it did was cause a speed bump. We kept it going. All it did was delay it by motherfucking 8 months. Maybe 10 months. But we got right back on motherfucking course and we did what we motherfucking needed to do and we fucking executed and we here right now winning. You know what I'm saying? That was probably 2000 was probably the 2001 was probably the only losing years we really had.
Yeah.
Other than that, we've been winning, baby. That's all I gotta say with that.
That is true.
No doubt.
That is true. I'm sitting here because I hear my girl Sexy Red in the background. Because they partying.
They partying. We out here on vacation. Like I said, we're bringing the real to y'all, man.
So excuse me if I get a little distracted. I hear certain songs.
Yeah, hopefully y'all don't hear the motherfucking background music. But yeah, we under the y'all, man. We on the resort, baby. We party. We want to give y'all some of this real life flavor, man. We keep it rated off for real, not PG for playing games. So we're going to bring it to you the way we bring it, the way we live it, baby.
So let me ask you this question. Do you ever get bored in a marriage? we've been together, and the reason why I'm asking this question, y'all, is because this is a common question that comes up in marriage. When people are together more than 10, 15, 20 years, things can start getting regimented. And people can start getting stuck in a run.
No doubt.
And people can get stuck in their box. They don't want to come outside of their box. So for you, have you ever been bored? Did you ever get bored or ever feel bored? And if you did get bored, what did you try to do? Too many tequila shots. What did you try to do to change that?
I would say I love boredom. I always told you in a relationship, because when you're not bored, that means that you don't have drama going on. Boredom in a relationship, especially in a committed relationship, is perfectly fine. I always tell people I love it that we bored. Like when I say boring, you don't got extra drama coming on from external forces. You already got enough shit going on just being yourself and this person. So you don't need other shit. So I love it when it's boring. There's no drama going on. So I love them days. So you need to, what I tell people is that you need to embrace that boredom. You really need to embrace that shit. Especially, there's nothing, every weekend, you don't need an activity plan. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Even though it seems like motherfuckers is doing shit, we like to chill. There's a lot of times where we just chilling on the weekend.
Yeah.
So that boredom, especially when you get to a certain level in the game, after that 5-year mark, believe me, it's okay to be bored.
It is.
Yeah, you embrace that shit.
Because I ain't gonna lie, sometimes depending on the relationship, the beginning of it, trying to set your foundation, sometimes it struggles with that. So it's like once you go through enough struggles and once you go through enough drama, once you go through enough conflict, you get to a point in your relationship where like you just don't want that. Like I don't want to argue with this nigga every day. I don't want to have beef with this nigga all the time. Like I don't need the drama and the conflict. I'm not gonna lie, it's some days and sometimes when I really do appreciate that we have, and I'm not gonna say boredom because we always have fun with everything we do, but I think that we don't just gravitate to the bullshit. Honestly, we just really try to chill.
Not at this level in the game.
Yeah, we just really try to chill because it's just honestly we just don't have the energy for it.
No, not
saying that we don't have spats or not saying that we don't have disagreements or anything like that. We're definitely not saying this thing we motherfucking perfect.
But the one thing I always say is, I tell a motherfucker when I be in a barbershop, you can control the external shit that's outside of your marriage. You can control what you allow to seep into your marriage.
That's true.
The different forces. So as long as you in control of that, you straight. You ain't gonna never have no drama. It's when people allow the outside influences to come into their marriage. Like for example, one thing I want to address, and I see a lot of women doing this. Y'all need to stop putting y'all relationship business on Facebook. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. Not even a couple, but stop doing that shit, man. Like stop putting your problems you have with your man on Facebook. I don't see guys really doing that. Women, y'all gotta stop doing that shit. It ain't work that shit out or cut that nigga. But you got two options. You either work that shit out or you cut that nigga.
Work it out or cut it.
Other than that, man, stop putting that shit on. It's not for everybody's consumption, man. Everybody don't need that shit. That's where you have problems because now you getting advice from bitches that been through 10 dicks in a week. And you get advice from that, and niggas that eating coochie from strippers. And you niggas is taking advice from them motherfuckers.
Did you just say 10 dicks in a week? That's
10 dicks in a week. Okay.
2 dicks per day.
10 dicks in a month.
Okay, that's better.
Okay. But I know bitches that do 10 dicks in a week.
I hope you're not doing 2 dicks per day.
I know bitches that do that. I know bitches that do 3 or 4 dicks a day.
That's a lot of dicks going in.
I'm just saying, I know some bitches. You know that.
That's a lot of aftercare. That's a lot of self-care to the pussy.
Yeah, these bitches off the chain. You know that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, do you, baby.
Hey, so let me ask you this. What is your advice to a person right now? They've been in the game for a minute, male or female, and she may be like, oh my God, I'm tired of fucking this nigga the same way. Or you got him that's like, oh my God, I'm tired of doing the same shit. She want to go to La Coretta on every Saturday. It's the same shit. What is your advice to people who may feel like they're heading into a period of boredom or like just a run?
This is what you got to do. And guys are not real open with their sexuality. When I mean sexuality, I'm talking about just talking about sex. And so you gotta literally ask your mate, girl, what you want?
What you like? That's true.
Like it's not just about eating pussy and fucking. Like, what you like? Like, what is you like? Do you want me to suck your toes? Is it a certain type of position that you want? Because all positions ain't equal. Certain positions hit the spot, and it may be hitting the spot for you, but it's not hitting the spot for her.
Yep.
So you need to talk about that shit. The other thing is that you gotta evolve. Just bring some shit into the motherfucking bedroom. Let's see. As long as it ain't awful, you know your mate, you know who you been with. Bring some shit and see what they gonna either tell you they like it or don't like it, and then you like, okay, and that's it. But that's what I say, man. So you just gotta be willing to evolve with your partner, and then listen to them. Active listening. I've been saying that for a long time.
True.
Active listening.
True. I would say this, and I'm gonna answer this question in two parts. First part, if you feel like you are getting bored or you're getting in the rut sexually, women, we have the power to control more than what we think. And what I mean by that is that...
Say that shit.
I'm just going to say this.
Pussy control it.
Yes, women, we have the power to change the dynamics of our relationships. If you are open and you are honest, a nigga will switch up some shit to please you. I'm just saying. Yeah. And it's vice versa. Women will
within reason, because I'm not gonna be doing none of that weird shit.
No, but I mean, okay. So for example, you may have read in a book or something like this that maybe tying the person up is cool. So you may want to try that
bondage,
but you don't. You're afraid to say something. But women, if you just say, "Hey, babe, would you mind if I tied you up?" Most likely, nigga gonna say yeah.
But let me tell you, I'm not used to being. I done got handcuffed a couple times. So when a nigga say tie you up, I'm thinking handcuff. You might go down.
No.
This is a different type of handcuff.
We're talking about a right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell niggas, let your girl tie you up and handcuff you, nigga. It's pretty good. I'm just gonna say.
So I'm just saying.
And she may surprise you, and not only that, bring in a friend. So I'm gonna tell you never know. So
my whole point is
open.
That if you want to try something, you're interested in something, how will he ever know if you don't say anything? And see, you can't keep going like all your relationship without saying anything, without being honest. Because then when y'all do be intimate and y'all do have sex, they gonna start feeling something like the disconnect. Cause like, it ain't the way she wanted or things like that. It can lead to more problems. So I feel like you just gotta be
One
honest.
thing I want to tell niggas too, since we're talking about this, I know we didn't digress. Niggas, cut your fingernails. You can't do shit if you got you see my fingernails are cut, man, low. Cut your fingernails.
Yes.
Women love to be touched, they're sensual. You can't really do that if you got fingernails and then your fingernails are dirty. So I'm just saying, it's all about hygiene and things like that.
You can't suck dick and eat coochie if you done smoked 5 blunts and ain't brush your teeth.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. You can't.
Get you some competition.
Yes.
Women don't want that pussy smelling like a zoo when she gets there.
As we say.
I'm just saying, G.
Smelling like the gorillas.
I told y'all niggas to eat some pussy.
Gorillas in the mist, because you got gingivitis in your mouth or some shit, but you get what we saying. So that's sexually if you get bored. Now, if you're getting bored with the other aspect of your relationship, the non-sexual part, again, you gotta communicate. So like, if your nigga don't want to go on trips,
say that.
You gotta talk to him about that. Like, hey, babe, I really think we need to go on a trip. We should really try going on a trip.
Okay.
Niggas that don't go on trips, you gotta be open to trying new things. You can't sit here and stay in Gary or stay where you at all your life.
This is the thing, and I tell people, now if you don't want to go on trip, you should allow your partner, your mate, your wife.
Go on trip.
Exactly.
If that's not your thing.
Exactly.
Don't rob it from that person, because then it builds resentment. So now, nigga, you don't want to travel, and now you don't want me to travel, so I'm just supposed to sit in this fucked up ass situation and don't do nothing when I really want to do X, Y, and Z. No, we don't talk about that. No, you know
I know
what?
people like that love just like something as simple as going to concerts. And this motherfucker
they don't like concerts, but they expect you never to go see nobody.
So I miss every concert that's coming through because this motherfucker. And so you need to find a concert buddy.
You do. It is about balance and compromise. This is the thing. Everything he suggests to do, I don't necessarily like, and vice versa. Everything I suggest, he don't necessarily like.
Come on now.
But if I suggest something and he don't like it, at least he'd be like, well, you know what? Why don't we do this instead?
Or at least try it out.
Or at least this is the other thing. Be open to trying something at least once. It don't
like
hurt.
I did the paint sip. I still thought that shit was boring. And
I enjoyed myself.
She liked that shit, but I thought it was boring.
I loved it. He thought it was boring, but at least he sat there with me and he sat there and entertained me. You can smoke. It was a smoke, paint, and sip. So you can sip, you can smoke, and you can paint.
Just kept rolling, baby.
So he just kept it rolling and kept me high the whole time that I sat there and I paint. Cool. That was a fair compromise. I go to some concerts. I like all concerts. I don't think it's really any concert.
Yeah,
but if there was a concert, I would still go. So it's just, you just really got to be communicating about things, especially if they start to get boring. Don't get resentful. Just talk. Just really talk. Last question. We talked about how do you overcome the boredom? How do you overcome the runt? Things of that nature. What happens if you get to a point where you can't overcome the boredom or you can't overcome the runt?
That's a good question.
What do you do?
That's a good question.
Do you just head straight to divorce? What do you what do you do? Break up?
That's the problem with a lot of these, especially these young couples that's new to this shit. First thing they want to do is run. If you committed to this person, you're gonna work through that shit. It's no different than a family member or nothing like that. So I tell people, start the counseling. If you can't communicate amongst each other, seek a third party. We was honest with that. We told people a long time ago. We did counseling. We thought it was stupid at the 3-4 session because we can't. But what we did is we learned to communicate. Yep. And that's the thing. So we did get something out of the counseling. We saw that we didn't have to pay these niggas $200 a session to communicate amongst each other. And so once we learned to do that, we were straight. And those problems happened early in the relationship. So we were able to fix them and set the thing on a whole new course or what have you. So I would tell people, get a third party. It can be, and then if it's a third party, I will always tell somebody, if it's not a licensed marriage counselor that y'all agree on, get somebody that's dealt with marriages, somebody that's been in marriages. You don't want to get no single motherfucker. So that's the other thing. So try to work it out before you throw in the towel. But sometimes you got to throw in the towel because people do grow apart from each other. Mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. They do grow apart, but you owe it to yourself. You owe it to the commitment that you made to at least exhaust all motherfucking remedies and efforts before you throw in the towel. That's all I'm saying.
That is true. I think you said it perfectly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just going to say ditto. Because I agree. I agree. Not throwing in the towel so quick is just a huge thing. No matter where your mind is telling you, no matter what fucked up advice is telling you, because I know there's one thing is that sometimes people get fucked up advice that really pushes them in the wrong direction. And that's why we say, surrounding yourself with other couples. When you go through stuff, you can reach out to somebody in that other couple to be like, hey, this is what we're going through. Have you ever went through this? They may have or may not, but they may have better advice.
Or talk you off the ledge.
Yeah, they may talk you off the ledge versus a person who's going to be like, do that shit, do that. No, sometimes you don't need to hear that. Sometimes you need somebody to talk you off the edge, or sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, you know what, bitch, you was wrong. You owe your man an apology. Ain't nothing else to say. Or, nigga, you was wrong. You hurt your girl. You being selfish. Da-da-da-da. And do it that way. So I agree, ditto. I think, once again, goes back to communication. That is the pillar of a lot of things we keep saying is communication.
No doubt.
So, okay. Well,
let's get to this fair five.
Yes, I like that. Entree. That was a great entree. Yes, that was a mouthful right there. No. Getting to this last part.
Once again, pause. You can say that mouthful. You know what
I can say mouthful. He can't say mouthful. Okay, we on our last part of this 3-course meal, which is our dessert, fair or foul. Y'all know how this works. Give you a few topics. If you like it, you say fair. If you don't, you say foul. Why? I'm just going to kick off with this, and I'm being very ignorant. Trump being president. Fair or foul?
You looking real delightful right now. I got distracted.
Trump,
You looking like a motherfucking tangerine. I want to lick her up right now. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Fuck that nigga, man. That nigga foul, man. I'm just gonna say, man, that nigga don't stand for shit. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. The nigga stand for white supremacy, and that's the end of the day. I ain't got nothing. What we just saw witness a couple days ago was nothing but a master class on white privilege. So you motherfuckers that voted for him, you niggas, you look whoever, y'all can suck my dick.
Ooh, period. I can't. Hey,
fuck that shit. It's like straight gang banging.
Man, y'all heard it from the D.O.C.
It is what it is, G.
Next topic: arguing on a trip. Whether you with your spouse or your friends.
So let me say some shit, man. Last night we in the DR.
Fair or foul?
We've traveled a lot of places. I mean, I've only seen maybe one or two instances where I've seen couples get into it, and unfortunately, last night we saw an instance where a couple got into it, and the black guy got extorted. He had to leave the resort.
Like 1 o'clock in the morning.
It's a lot of layers, and just from an outsider, obviously they had problems coming in.
Yeah.
Before they came.
And the vacation don't have your problems.
You wouldn't, and I don't know what the issue was, but man, y'all, you can't be bringing that type of energy.
But I'm gonna go back. A vacation doesn't solve your problems.
No, they don't.
If you beefing, while y'all in the United States, nigga, y'all go to DR, y'all gonna beef in the DR. Now y'all really gonna beef in the DR, because now y'all really.
Because the shit is magnified.
Yes, it is. It is. So this is the thing. You gotta be realistic. You can't think that You can't think that going on a trip gonna just magically turn off the beef switch. No, that's not how that shit works. So I think it's foul to go all the way on vacation and then argue on the trip.
Don't do that shit.
I feel like whatever issues you have, y'all, we can wait till we get back home to address that shit. We don't do that shit in public.
No doubt.
Like, we heard about a girl cussing her guy at the dinner table and shit. And we're like, we don't do shit like that. If anything, we're going to wait till we get back to our room and cuss each other out. We ain't going to do it at the dinner table.
Some shit you don't do.
Right.
I'm a player. Like I told y'all last episode, I don't lip wrestle with nobody.
You say that all the time.
I don't lip wrestle. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, G. But I'm not about to lip wrestle with you.
How about this? Bringing drugs on international trips. Is that fair or foul?
Foul. Don't do that shit.
Don't.
And I want to say to my novice travelers who out here, because I love the flower. I love certain things. Don't do that shit.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
You can get whatever you want
when you get there. Most likely.
Yeah. I don't know no place where I've been where you can't get whatever you want. Whatever. So don't do that shit.
No,
That's just a little nugget out there, because there's certain countries
they don't play that shit.
They don't play that shit.
I see what happened to Brittany Griner. She had
not even that. I'm just saying you ain't trying to play with games with them people, man.
Nah, And then this is the funny thing is that, for instance, we're gonna take Punta Cana. Literally, as soon as you get off the airport, first thing they ask you, do you want a taxi? Do you want drugs? Them the top two questions that the dudes ask you when you get off the plane.
You don't know what niggas is the police.
You don't. But my whole point is that the drugs are already here.
But I'm from the G. I know police niggas.
But you don't bring drugs here. How about this? Last one, and it's a nasty one. How about having random sex while you're on vacation? Fair or foul?
It's fair. I think it's fair.
I think it's fair.
Because it depends on your status and what you're doing. What happens in DR stays in DR. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Hey, do you? I just say be safe.
Yeah.
And then make sure it's consensual.
Yes.
Do you, baby?
Yes.
Enjoy your life.
Yes. Well, Mr. D.O.C., this was nice.
This was nice, baby.
I love it. They was jamming on the ones and twos in the background.
No doubt.
You felt that little breeze come through, because at first it was hot as hell. It was very humid, but it was a good humidity.
We're about to get out here and get to it, man.
Yes.
I love y'all, man. Hit that subscribe and like button.
Hit it. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.